Feel that? Like how we all feel right now after listening to that awesome music and that great story. Well, I have a little funny story to tell you about my son's really first Halloween. He trick-or-treated, and it's about your framework, what you think. He was a crawfish made out of paper bags. He was 3. I was in Seattle. I had just separated from his dad, my ex-husband. So things were a little rocky for me. But we went out trick-or-treating in my old neighborhood because I was staying with my mom in the house I grew up in. We were trick-or-treating, and it was really fun to actually go see some neighbors that I had actually trick-or-treated when I was a kid and bring my little son, who was 3. Now he's 33, but he was 3 then, as the crawfish. Well, after about 6 houses, he said, I want to go home. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go home? I said, yeah, he want to go home. So, all right, we went home, We went home. He went to bed. Then the next morning, or actually it was the next evening, he said, okay, I'm ready to go out again. Had to break his heart and explain to him that was a one-night-a-year event. And it just shows me how often that we create our own reality, right? We make things the way we think they are. We listen to what we want to hear, and good, bad, and indifferent. It's always good to be present in the moment and listening for what's really there. So today, I'm going to talk about healing our patterns. If you opened up the email I sent, which had a picture of an iceberg, you notice that the top of the iceberg above the water is just a little bit. And the underneath part of the iceberg is huge. Many people say that we have just that many unconscious thoughts as the underneath part of the iceberg. And so maybe when we practice our spiritual truth and we co-create our reality and we say, wait a minute, where did that come from? One of the working theories that I think works pretty good is that it's coming from the unconscious part of our iceberg, some of our unconscious thoughts and patterns. We want to heal our embedded beliefs and the mistaken thoughts that we hold about ourselves and about others. So let's be clear. We need intention on our spiritual walk, and we need to heal our unconscious patterns. We get to choose the Christ consciousness every time we become aware that we're choosing. We get to choose the Christ consciousness. Now, the quick way is to choose unconditional love for this exact minute and everything in it. Unconditional love is a high frequency that always heals. So a way to do that is, for example, I don't know if you noticed how happy the band is when they're playing music, but they love it. I don't know if you know this, but I love Sunday morning. I love it. So it's very easy for me to choose unconditional love on Sunday. And it's easy for the band to choose, unconditional love when they're playing, most of the time. Okay? And that's a shortcut, okay? You can do this shortcut anytime to heal a pattern, and I'll tell you how. You just love what's happening right now, okay? You love it. Your heart starts beating a little faster. You consciously love it with unconditional love, the moment, yourself, and everybody in it. And here's the beauty of why this works. Maybe, like today, you came here, and it was easy to love everything that happened. Maybe you like rock and roll. Okay? Maybe you like classical and you came in here and you went, oh, what is this? But here is the super good news. That's just some beautiful feedback for you to show you, to help you find some of your unconscious patterns. When you start applying, when any of us start applying, I'm going to choose the Christ, I'm going to love this moment and everybody in it unconditionally, and then you start to notice the things that bug you a little bit. Hey, that's good news. You know? That's good news. Maybe, I'm going to make a few things up. Maybe you came here and you saw, oh, they have cookies here. I don't think cookies are good for people. Whatever it was. You get to look at that and embrace it and say, this is going to be a clue to show me an unconscious pattern. I've been reading I Am the Word by Paul Selig, and he has a great story about an unconscious pattern. I'm just going to borrow him. When he was a little kid in kindergarten, he went up to the school and there were a bunch of bikes. So he wanted to ride a bike. He picked the bike he wanted. It was a big bike. He fell over. He experienced embarrassment. When you're in kindergarten, it can be really big. And people made, ridicule. And then his mother comforted him. So he set up a pattern, or there was, let's just say it like this way, a pattern got set up because he experienced it, that when he put himself out, he would experience ridicule and then comfort. Now, there was also in his book a way to heal that. So, the way that Paul would heal that story or that unconscious pattern would be this. I am Word through this memory, and I am Word through any manifestations and any belief systems that were created through this memory that are no longer in alignment with my highest good. I am now choosing to release any patterns of failure or ridicule or belief in comfort to be attained through ridicule or failure that may have been created through this situation and through this time. I am Word through this memory and all that it has begotten me. Word, I am Word through this intention. Word, I am Word. Now I'm going to tell you a story about me because that's just what I do for you. I find my ego self all the time. Just for you guys. Thursday morning, I have a class that I've been taking. It's a leadership class, and I take it and other leaders in the community take it. So not just people from Unity, there are people from around the community. And we use the church because there's a live stream and it's great. So I had successfully negotiated 2 live stream presentations. And Thursday morning, when I came over, it wasn't working. And I couldn't get the sound working. And I have an unconscious pattern that I call the robot. Like, when I need something to be a certain way and it's not working, like my robot protection unit comes up. It's actually because a very young part of me gets triggered. Like, the person who feels ashamed and like I can't do it. That's a very young part of me, maybe 8 or 9 or something. And so when that 8 or 9-year-old feels uncomfortable, she calls on the robot protection unit, who just powers through like a 9-year-old, so not much wisdom, and tries to make it happen just the way it's supposed to happen. So, and the bad thing about the pattern is I'm immediately going unconscious. I'm not present because all I can feel is uncomfortable and ashamed, and the part of me that's just like, plunging ahead, not, like, I've just got to make this happen. It's got to work. It's got to work. And I had called Roland on the phone to come over and help me, and the people in the group were saying, "Can I help you?" I'm up in that booth going, "No, no, you can't help me." I think that was my actual tone of voice. "No, it can't be helped. I just have to do this." Because that's what that robot person does. Well, it's highly unpleasant for me, and I'm pretty sure it's not so pleasant for the people around me. But the deal is, I've fallen into a state of absencing. I'm not present to myself. It's like a robot part of me or an unconscious pattern for all of us. When our unconscious patterns are there, we're not choosing the Christ. We're not choosing to be that light. We're not choosing to be who we really are. How do you know you're acting from an unconscious pattern? Well, it's going to feel like familiar unhappiness. You will feel unhappy, and you will have felt that feeling before. You will have uncomfortable feelings, especially any feelings of guilt that seem attached to along the lines of, "Ooh, here I go again. I am," whatever negative it is you tell yourself, Here it is again. I'm negative, negative, negative. Whatever it is that runs through your mind. We all have different ones. Stupid, whatever, late, whatever it is. Not good enough. You have one. I know everybody has a few. So, and especially when you are feeling anxious and urgent that something has to happen in a particular way, that things have to go a certain way. That is how you know you're acting from an unconscious pattern. Now, there's a solution. There's always the big deal is to do as many things as possible to remind ourselves to pay attention to ourselves, to listen to ourselves and the situation with an open mind and an open heart so that what's really happening can sink in. And there's also healing. So at any moment, as I said, you can automatically choose unconditional love. I could have chosen to love that moment. I could have relaxed and loved the moment and said, "Oh, here it is, it's happening again. The sound is messing up. It's kind of funny." Or here it is. "Wow, here it is, and people are offering to help me." I could let them help me. I could just say, "I don't know what to do. Why don't you guys fix it?" That would have been a lot more fun. And you can turn it over to God ahead of time. We can heal some things. You don't have to wait to a crisis. The crises are good because they help to show us what we want to heal. But like I said, anytime you want to find out what's in your unconscious, just start loving the moment. Whatever you don't love, red flag. You will be able to investigate the red flag. Now, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That is the first line of the Gospel of John. And I've been really working and being fascinated with the word. And as it's used in this Gospel, and as it's used as when we practice our co-creation. So Word is God in action. And Word is us. It says right here in the Gospel, the Word was God. The Word is the truth, and the Word is also our Christ self. I am Word through my body. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my vibration. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my knowing of myself as Word. Word, I am Word. So when you say that, you are claiming the Christ. We're going to We're going to say a healing treatment. You don't even have to have anything in your mind that you want to heal an unconscious pattern. You can just say whatever unconscious pattern is, maybe even deeply buried. I'm just going to say this, and you're going to say it with me. So I'll say a small phrase, and I want you to repeat it back. And do know that you are asking God to heal you through your word. Okay? You're asking for an unconscious pattern to be healed, and that always makes life way more interesting whenever we ask for healing. So if you will say this with me, I am now making the choice. I am now making the choice to have this cleared, once and for all. Once and for all. And I intend now to release any unconscious behavior, that would have me reclaim this pattern, that I have stated, I am now free of. Word, I am word through this intention. Word, I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. So, as we remember, you just released something. As much as you are willing to let the Christ be in you and help you release that, you have released an unconscious pattern. Okay? You might feel a little energy, a little extra energy this week. I want to say one more thing. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. That's Matthew 13. Energy follows attention. So we want to release. We also want to bring our attention to the pearl, the positive. And I want to tell you one of the things we're doing here at Unity to bring our attention to the positive. I'll be speaking more about this. You all got a little November reminder of things were happening in November. And I wanted to tell you what was happening next week. Unity Draft Prototype 0.8. Now there's a reason it's called Prototype 0.8. It's not even Prototype 1. It's not even the beta test. It's throwing something on the wall and seeing what sticks. We're going to have a series of meetings after service on Sunday, not every week, and they'll last for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour at the very most. And these are the meetings to show up if you want to be a part of the emerging future that we're creating in Unity of Des Moines. If you have opinions and needs and want to see something about youth and family, about the remodeling of the basement, about the worship and the music team, about service projects that haven't even happened yet, then come. And don't worry if you have to miss next Sunday. We're going to keep having them. So, the Unity Draft, all right? There's also an annual meeting the week after that, and a Thanksgiving potluck the week after that, and the first day of Advent and decorating the church. So we've got a lot of things happening on Sunday. That'll be fun and awesome. Now, one of the things that we want to do is we want to notice that energy follows our attention. So we want to give our attention to our awesome Sunday school people who have dressed up and want to come up in front for us to look at them. So come on, guys. Sometimes they like to talk. Sometimes they just want to be up here. You want to come stand up? Whoa, come on. Wow. Wow. Whoa. Woo. Love it. Love it. Nice. Okay. Look out there. Anybody want to say anything, or they just want to be here, love?
You guys want to tell everyone what you're at?